Good morning, students. Today I am continuing with chapter number 7 with part 5th, and the name of the topic is Fundamental Theorem of Calculus. So, under this heading, first we will discuss about the area function, and after that we will discuss about the fundamental theorems of integral calculus. So, as per this given diagram, as you see, this is a curve related with y equals to fx with ordinates x equals to a and x equals to b. This shaded portion is related with a function of x. So basically this shaded region is the function of x and it is represented by ax, and the value of ax is here a2x fx dx. This is known as area function for such type of diagram. It is also known as fundamental theorem of calculus. On behalf of this theorem, we will discuss two types of theorems. First, fundamental theorem of calculus, and then second, fundamental theorem of calculus. So first we will go through with the first fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So let if f is a continuous function in the closed interval a comma b, then we can say area function is given by a2x fx dx, and when we will differentiate it, it becomes fx for all a comma b. So this is the concept of first fundamental theorem of calculus. On behalf of this, we will continue with the second concept, and the second concept of fundamental theorem is let f is a continuous function, or we take f as a continuous function in the closed interval a comma b, where we can say a is the lower limit of the function and b is the upper limit of the function. Then we can say it can be denoted as a2b fx dx, and this is equals to capital Fx, where capital Fx is the antiderivative of this f function, and it can be denoted as a2b, where again a is the lower limit and b is the upper limit, and when we will solve it, we will get fb minus fa. So this concept is known as second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. With the help of this method, we solve so many problems which are based on limit based problem, and it is also known as definite integration. So whenever limit is given to us, we will go through with definite integration, and whenever limit is not given, we will go with indefinite integration. So in my previous video, I told so many questions and concept about the indefinite integration, and here we will discuss definite integration. So with the help of this concept, with the help of this second fundamental theorem of integral calculus, we will solve some questions which are based on limit. So we can say our exercise 7.9 and exercise 7.10 both are related with you can say definite integration, which we will solve with the help of second theorem, that is known as second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So I am going through with some question related with our NCERT book. So with the help of this definite integration, we will solve the question which is based on limit very easily. So I am starting with some question. So first I will take one simple question related with integration. How can we will solve the integration of sin 2x when the lower limit is 0 and upper limit is pi by 4. This is the question. So how can we will solve this question? So basically, first I want to tell this is the question related with definite integration where 0 is the lower limit and pi by 4 is the upper limit, and the function is sin 2x. So how can we will solve it? First we will write here, let I for integration, and the integration of sin 2x, this is equivalent to minus cos 2x upon 2, 0 to pi by 4. Okay. After this, we will apply first upper limit. So it can be written as minus cos 2 pi by 4 upon 2. Then we will write minus sign as per the concept of second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. After that, we will apply 0 in place of x, so that it can be written as cos 2 into 0 upon 2. And when we will solve it, what we will get? So 4 and 2 will cancel. It becomes pi by 2, that is 0, minus and minus plus, and it becomes 1 by 2. So we can say when we will solve this question, we will get 1 by 2. So this is the way of solving the question which is based on definite integration, and we will solve such type of question with the help of second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Now I am solving one or two questions more so that the concept of definite integration is more clear to all of you. Now I am taking the question 0 to 1 x e x square dx. So this is the question based on limit where 0 is the lower limit and 1 is the upper limit. How can we will solve such type of the question? So again, first we will start with let I. This is the second question based on limit, and we will solve this question with the help of again second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So as you see here, x is given and this is your exponential function e raised to the power x square. So two different functions are there. So how can we will solve such type of the question? If we see here x dx is the differentiation of x square. So what we will do, first we will convert in simplest form. We will put x square as t, and when we will do the differentiation of it with respect to t, it can be written as 2x dx upon dt equals to 1. That's why we can say x dx equals to dt upon 2. Okay. Now we will put the value 0 to 1. X dx is represented by dt upon 2, and x square is represented by e raised to the power t. 1 upon 2 is the constant quantity, so that it can be written as 1 upon 2, 0 to 1 et dt. Okay. After this, the integration of et dt is et, and before putting the value of t, because these limits are related with x only, okay, so before putting the value of t, again we replace the value of t here, and this is your e raised to the power x square 0 to 1. Now we will solve it. What we will get? We will get e raised to the power 1 minus e raised to the power 0, and this is equals to e minus 1 upon 2, because the value of e raised to the power 0 is 1. So this is the way of solving the question whenever two different functions are there with limit where 0 is the lower limit and 1 is the upper limit. So follow the procedure, then we will solve such type of question very easily. Now I am taking one more question, and these questions are related with your exercise, you can say 7.9. So I am taking only few questions from this exercise 7.9 based on definite integration. So after these questions, I am continuing with one more question, and this time this is your question number 22 of exercise 7.9, and the question is, how can we will integrate 0 to 2 by 3 dx upon 4 plus 9x square. This is the question. So how can we will start? First we will write here, let I. In this question, 0 is the lower limit and 2 by 3 is the upper limit, and dx upon 4 plus 9x square is given to us. So how can we will solve such type of this question? As you see, the coefficient of x square is 9 here. So first we will convert in the simplest form so that we will easily apply the concept of, you can say, indefinite integration. Definite integration, whenever we want to solve the definite integration, first we will solve as per the indefinite integration, and after that we will apply the limit so that it will convert in the definite integration. So what we will do here, so we want the coefficient of x square is positive 1, so first we will take common 9 from the denominator so that it becomes 4 upon 9 plus x square, and it can be written as 1 upon 9 0 to 2 by 3 dx upon whole square of 2 upon 3. 4 upon 9 can be written as whole square of 2 upon 3 plus x square. Okay. After, as per our previous knowledge, now we have to apply here one formula. So the formula is dx upon a square plus x square. This is equals to 1 upon a tan inverse x upon a. So when we will apply the formula here, it can be written as 1 upon 9 1 upon a. 1 upon a means the value of a is 2 by 3. Tan inverse x upon a. X upon a. And then lower limit to upper limit. It means we have to solve this portion. So 3 and 9 both will cancel and we will get 1 upon 6. This will cut 3 times and it becomes tan inverse 3x upon 2, and again we have to apply the limit from 0 to 2 by 3. Okay, so we can say 1 upon 6 as it is. Now when we apply the limit, it becomes tan inverse 1 minus tan inverse 0. When we apply the limit, first we will apply always upper limit, then minus, and then lower limit. So it becomes 3 upon 2 into 2 upon 3, it becomes tan inverse 1 minus tan inverse 0. So 1 upon 6 as it is. Tan inverse 1, it is possible when 1 is possible when tan pi by 4 is there, and tan inverse 0 is 0 itself. So tan and tan inverse cancel, and what we will get? We will get pi upon 24. So this is the way of solving the question which is based on limit, or we can say we will solve such type question with the help of second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. These type of questions are based on definite integration. Now I am solving one more question related with this concept, and that is also related with the exercise 7.10, because 7.9 and 7.10 both the exercise you will do at a time. Both the exercise are based on the same concept and the formula which are related with indefinite integration. So I am taking one more question related with 7.10 so that both the concept of these two exercises 7.9 and 7.10 is clear to all of you. So I am continuing with the exercise 7.10. Basically this exercise 7.10 is related with integration by substitutions. Whenever limit is given to us, whenever lower limit and upper limit both are given to us, then how can we will solve such type of question. So I am taking one question, that is the first question of this exercise 7.10, and the question is, 0 to 1 x dx upon x square plus 1. So how can we will solve such type of the questions? If you notice, these questions we already done in our, you can say, previous exercises, but this time limit is given. So how can, with the help of limit, how can with the help of second fundamental theorem of integral calculus, we will solve these questions. So how can we start? We will start with let I. So direct integration of this question is not possible. We have to substitute something. Either we have to substitute numerator as t or denominator as t. So here what we will do, we will put x square plus 1 as t, and when we will do this differentiation, it becomes 2x dx upon dt equals to 1. So x dx equals to dt upon 2, and when we put here, it can be written as 0 to 1 dt upon 2, and the value of x square plus 1 is t, and when we will rearrange it, we can say it can be written as dt upon t. After that we will solve it. So 1 upon 2, it becomes log t, because the integration of dt upon t is log t. Now we will apply limit. So first we will apply upper limit. Before applying limit, first we will put the value of t, because these limit again are related with x. So first we will substitute this t by x, so that it becomes log x square plus 1 minus, okay, first we will substitute the value of t here, and then we will write here limit. After that we will solve it. So what we will do, it can be written as 1 by 2 log 1 plus 1 is 2, right, minus log 0 plus 1, as per the concept of definite integration. Okay, after this we can say I equals to 1 upon 2 as it is, log 2 remains same, and log 1, what is the value of log 1? Log 1 value is 0. So we can say integration of 0 to 1 x dx upon x square plus 1, this is equals to log modulus 2 upon 2, or we can say log 2 upon 2, or it can also written as 1 upon 2 log 2. So this is the way of solving the question, which is based on definite integration, and definite integration is related with the second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So I hope with the help of today's video, you will solve the question which is related with 7.9 and exercise 7.10. In these type of question, you have to focus on upper limit and lower limit. First, always you will apply upper limit, then minus sign, and then lower limit, or you can say follow the concept of second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So I hope you will do the remaining questions of this exercise. Thank you very much.